Hello everybody, welcome to Lazy Mini Painting. I am Laz, the usual person sat in front of the camera, and welcome to Models and Musings. If you've not been here before, please stick around. You might like it, you might not. I am going to have to do the usual thing of sorting myself out so I can come and join you in portrait mode, which he doesn't usually like me doing, so let's do that quickly just so it logs it in, and then I can close that down hopefully. Fingers crossed. I've got a feeling I've just knocked a Chthonian berserk off. I hope I haven't. Good evening, Ali. Good evening, Buzzard. Thank you for coming in. I'm just getting everything set up and ready. Like turning volume down on my phone so it doesn't start echoing, but I can still read the portrait mode cam. See, it works to a degree. Let's get my green screenish thing back. It's not really a green screen, it's just my curtains, but it gives me a nice flat back covering. We're still in October, and we have WAAGGHH 90% done. And now we're working on the Shokk Dragster. Now this has got a lot of bright colours to go on it because it is powered by a Shokk Attack gun, or at least Shokk Attack engine. If that's even a thing, I don't know. It's this bit here on the back, see? This swirly bit. I've just realised that my camera is not where I would want it to be, central. But it's close enough and it'll do. I can keep it here, and it just means I've got to move this over a bit. There we go. This is so I can remind where my portrait cam is, in case anyone was wondering why have you got that like that. So I can remember where my portrait mode is, because my full desk cam comes right over here and right over here. But this is the bit I get to work in. It's fun. So this is the plan for tonight. There's going to be lots of bright blues. Pardon me. Bright blues and normal blues and other strange bizarre colours. Now that was odd. How come none of Ali's comments have popped up? But only one of Beaky's has in the comments. And I'm not sure why that's happened. But it has, so okay. We'll hopefully figure that out and it'll catch up for us in a moment. So let's start with our colours. And we're going to go for the Bright Jade from the Pro Acryl because it's a nice colour. That's one of the shades. And then we're going to work in and around that as a whole. Have I forgot to do my water? Possibly. And then we're going to go for a little bit of a Sabarite green. Very similar, just a little bit more greeny. What's number 2 cam doing? Which one's... Right, is number 2 cam my face or is number 2 cam my hands? I'm not sure. I don't have... I have one listed as me and one listed as desk, so I don't know which one you count as number 2. Good evening. I'm about to say good evening, Ali. Again. You're in both. Northern, how do? Thank you very much. Hope you have a good evening, mate. With whatever it is you've got planned for the rest of today. 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours of Monday to go. So we want a little bit of the but it does mean we can get a little bit of a colour variance on it. So start out with little dotty areas on the back. Just so we know I have a nice easy starting point. Smaller Ah, it's the chat overlay. Oh, so it's this. Is it because it's not over my face as normal? There we go. I've moved it back. I only move it over when I get guests up because the guest cam goes directly above me. So if I do have a guest up, I do have to move my chat box over. But I can move it back out of the way for now, if you'd prefer that. So that's roughly where we're going to have the colour starting from on these ones. And we've also got this section. Which does need brightening up quite a lot. I say quite a lot, I mean a lot. It does need brightening up a lot. So, good evening, Mick, and go for it. Hello, welcome in. Welcome in. Just picking the areas that I want to have glowy on the Shokk Jump Dragster's actual shotgun. Some of these will be getting brighter at some points, but starting with the darker colour. So at least know where I'm working from. I'm not using the same colour green that I use for the actual orcs themselves. We've got loads of little bits in here. Gubbins and baubles and all sorts. Lots of things that could scream orky energy. Lots of things that could scream orky energy. So now that we've started, how is everybody? Have you had a nice weekend? I certainly hope so. And if it's not been nice, at least I hope it's been uneventful. Because if it's not nice and it's eventful, that's usually not a good thing. How am I going to get a brush down into there? That's how I'm going to get a brush down into there. I'm going to poke it in. And find the last little bauble. That's good to hear, Ali. That is good to hear. So, uneventful and good. Or good and eventful. Because you got up to something and you had fun doing it. Be a nice one. So we do have the rough areas now where we're going to try and brighten it up to be a shotgun. It's the Shokk Jump Dragster that we're doing tonight. And next week, because it will be the last week of October for streaming anyway, will be the WAAGGHH Snazwagon if I can get this finished tonight. So let's hope I can. Because I want to paint that WAAGGHH Snazwagon. That is a fun looking model. Right, so on here now, how and where do I want the jade? I'm going to use a chisel brush just so I can get a bit more coverage quicker. Now, I am not as good as Twisted is at his source lighting. So mine are pretty much going to be flat colours across the board. Especially in this case because it's colours that I'm not used to using in gradients. If it was something more black and white, more monochrome, then I'm not too bad with it. I can use that in gradients. But in this bright of a colour, I'm not as used to it. So I'm just going to go straight outright flat for it and just colour it in, essentially. That's pretty much all your oil painting is colouring in with a floppy brush. And then just around the outer edges of the gun, so it's still green in the middle, but that overflow of lighter blue is coming through slightly on the actual upper gun here, and again on just the raised edges on some of these bits. And around where the glow is going to be coming out of the actual gun itself. So not completely painting it all, just enough to get the where the areas are going boom 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 boom. Thank you, Ali. Thank you. I mean, I don't particularly enjoy doing the YouTubey stuff that he wants you to do. I don't like doing it, in all honesty. I know it helps the channel, but to me that's kind of saying, you've got to stay around. You don't have to stay around. If you like me and you like what you see, please do it. As Ali said in the comments, hit the twiddles and the knobs and the buttons and things. If you don't, then you don't have to. And there is absolutely no reason for you to feel forced. But if you do want to, I won't stop you. Nor can I. You're sat in front of your machine or device, and you can click any buttons you want on there. Because let's face it, if they give YouTubers access to go, you can make everybody subscribe if you want to, then they would, wouldn't they? I actually wouldn't, because I don't think I could deal with that many people. Like, up to about 11, 12, I'm alright. I can keep up, which is approximately what I've got at the moment, I think. Well, a bit less, but still. I'm not very good at keeping up with lots of people talking. I can't even do it when I'm in a chat, never mind when there's a chat going on and I've got to talk as well. Shake the ivory, so I can start making a lighter version of the one that I've just used. He's bubbling out the top already and I didn't mean it to. That was a bit of a... that wasn't fun. That messed about a bit, did that? Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out which one Sparkles is sat in, by the way, so I know she's sat in one of them. Again. But this time she's on a laptop, so I have absolutely no idea which one it's going to be, because she can get access to both. So all of you in the main horizontal, well, that's the one where you've got to be careful, because that's where she's sat now. We've got Ali in one, Sparkles in the other, and between the two of them, I have no control over what they get up to. So please behave yourself. Oh, I missed a bubbly. That's not a good thing. I shouldn't have missed that bubbly. I still do the lighter bits while I'm here, though. And now go back and get that last bubbly bit. Oh, you're in both of them. And good evening, Twisted. Good evening. I hope you're feeling better than earlier. stop coughing, I hope. And have all your editing done. Or at least a good fair chunk of it. Personally, I'd rather be in a position where I could pay someone to edit for me, because I don't like it. There's a good possibility those people have an idea of, like, he's going to ask me, and yeah, if you're thinking that, then chances are the answer is yeah. So I need to get this mixed through. That is really, really, really bright. There we go, that's a better version. Slightly lighter and closer to the one I used a moment ago to do all these swirly whirly bits. Go back over to make sure we did get them. And that one's not dry yet, so we can't do anything about that one. Oh, you're still filming? Oh, okay. Yeah, so you're not even close to the editing stage for that then. Right, so while I'm waiting for those bits to actually dry, I'll wash my brush off. Now we've got a lot of silver to clean up, a lot of metal to clean up, and a lot of other stuff. Hello, Cry Havoc. Just work on Corax the Lion, his Deathwind turn builds, and the Inner Circle companion builds. Oh, nice. But feel unwell, so been slowly going, but not got a new whole paint system palette thing all in one. Well, thank you for calling in, Quite Havoc. Thank you for calling in. If you're not feeling up to it, sit and chat to us for a bit if you want. We won't say no. We won't make you either, but we're here for that. We're here having a chat, or just being around while you're doing your modelling or your painting and whatever it is you're doing at your desk. Well, thank you for calling in. So you're going, yeah. See, I don't usually. I tend not to go for chapter standard specific. So I'll choose a firstborn chapter and go, right, I'm going to be a successor of them, but with my own colour scheme. That way, if I ever do get bored and sick of doing that one colour over and over and over again, I can always just strip it down and go, right, I'm splitting my army into two forces now, and that's going to be that half, and they're going to be that half. It just gives me that little bit more room to play with colours and colour schemes without being so rigid to what GW go, right, well, if it's Dark Angels, it's got to be this shade of green, or this shade of ivory, or this shade of black, or... No! I want to do it my colours. Although I do like Dark Angels, especially the Deathwing. The Deathwing Knights, they're absolutely fantastic. Yeah, if it looks cool, it looks cool, and therefore it's better than standard just because it's cool. I'm in a slightly fortunate position of My older two can take themselves to bed, and my youngest is already in bed. Or he should be. He'll probably come down in about 20 minutes going, "Can I have something to eat?" As he always does. He always waits till after he's been told he's got to go to bed and then comes down for something to eat. But of course, why wouldn't you? As a kid, you try and get as much time as you can before bedtime. And we've cottoned on. He knows we've cottoned on to all his others, and this seems to be the only one that works at the moment. I'm hungry. You're always bleeding hungry. And he is. Kids are always bloody hungry. So, cleaning up all the areas where I went over and caught the yellow on the pipes behind. And clean them up around the edges here. Just because I did get a lot. I was very messy with the yellow. Ooh, chat's going a bit quick. I can't keep up, especially with two of them. This time I'll flame. Oh, no. I've seen what you've been doing so far with that Twisted. Those flames are. Yeah. That OSL. I'm glad you're doing it and not me. We had this discussion earlier. I go for a high noon's light shade. So that's my light source. It's a high noon sun. So everything's coming straight down on top. Yeah, to do the getting it from the source of where. So, for instance, to get it from the source of there and there, no, I can't do that. I'm not that good. I wish. You think I would be after this long of doing it, but nope, apparently not. I'm still barely able to get a base colour down on a flat colour at that. I do struggle just getting just a flat colour sometimes. But cleaning up is something we always have to do if we mess around. Especially when you slip with something as bright as yellow. It just shows up so much on various different things. Lee, hello. I'm assuming we're saying hello to Lee because the chat's gone dump, and lots of people have their channels in there now. What am I missing? There is a lot that I'm missing. Good evening, Lee. Yes, you did pop in there towards the end of all the. Well, halfway through actually, towards all of it. I need to figure out how to get them both to pop up in this little one here. If I can get everything to come up into here, I'll be fine. But no, it doesn't. For some reason. And I've still yet to figure out how to get it to do that. It just will not combine the two bloody chats into one easy to read chat screen for me. You know, make life a little bit easier. That would be good, but apparently not. So there we go. We have most of the silver bits recovered and redone. I'll just catch any more that we've missed, like the actual barrel of the gun itself. I know I'm using quite a large brush here, but that's mostly so I can get coverage quicker. If it was to sat here with like a 0.3 or something tiny, then I'll be sat here for bloody ages. No worries, Crab. I understand when it comes to kids to sort out. When it comes to adulting, we're quite, yeah, we understand on here because generally we try and keep it as an adult channel. Not necessarily that type of adult before you start getting any ideas. But, yeah. It's not saying we don't allow kids to come in, because we do allow people under the age of 18 to come in. It's not solely for people that are older. But if you are in here, then you are expected to at least have some degree of common sense and understanding on how to behave. Goody. Bill! How the devil are you doing, mate? How's your training going? It is ready for the ARC F1 circuit. It will be beating Max Verstappen next weekend. And if it doesn't, it'll blow him up. Either way, Lando Norris needs a win. But thank you for calling past, Bill. And I hope your training's going well, mate. I do. Because you're doing some... Yeah. You're training to save people. And that is a very, very amicable thing. But are you black? I forgot to mute my phone, haven't I? Yeah. I did. I forgot to mute my phone. Because I'm an idiot. There we go. So no more notifications now, people. No more beeps and baboops. And pings. Although I don't get many pings. Because, well, that's generally Ali. If it goes ping. In certain people I know. Like, if my phone ever rings, I know it's going to be like one person, because only one person phones me. If I get a ping, it's more than likely going to be Ali. Beeps could be anyone. But ding, he's Ali. Ali's got to change it now and start contacting me through something else so I don't recognise the ting. That's just going to mess my head up. So some nice black slick tyres. No tread on them. Just pure slick speed. 100% surface connection. Which any of you watch Formula 1 or any form of racing, you will know that is not a good thing for off-roads or wet. Having nice shiny towers. Nice shiny tyres. But this is an ARC. And he will use the power of the WAAGGHH to make it work. I've got a feeling I'm going to have to open something because I've just realised that it won't send me notifications on it in case any of you post anything while I'm streaming. That's one of the advantages. It doesn't go ping on my PC. Or doop, as it does on the PC, it does doops. The Discord. But no doops. Because it puts me in streamer mode when I have Streamlabs open. See, nice black tie. See that? That's better. No worries. You have, well, enjoy yourself, Bill. And yeah, next time you've got a bit of free time, or if you want to set something up, send me a message. Because I have my set schedules, but in our case, it's two ships passing in the night and the two shall never meet. So let's set someone up if you want to do something. And don't give me that introduction and I won't go off. Alright? If you give me that introduction again though, then, well, it's your own fault. You're the one opening the door. I can be nice, or I can do it the way you wanted me to do last time. Either way, we'll find something. We'll work it out between us. We'll get a collaboration going, me and you. Find something similar-ish we can work on, both of us, for the evening. And off we pop. Even maybe set it up a different way so we've both got desk cams, eh? Ooh, a new roll on for... Oh. How you doing, man? Any more work on your characters? Well, you did some nice ones. The greed one was quite a nice idea. Kind of a Riddler-esque, but with a few extra pieces on it. Oh, that was looking alright. Now, if anyone's wondering what we was on about, if you go look in the text part of the voice chat, me, How, and Twisted were in there earlier today. And How put a few pictures up that they've been working on. If you want to have a look, please pop in there. And How is working on a few characters to essentially head up generals and factions. I mean, lots of people working on games. We have How, we have Joe. Well, who knows? If you're involved enough, you may end up getting to be a playtest. You're in bed now. Well, I hope you're getting some rest. I have been known to be used for ASMR, so if you do fall asleep halfway through the stream, don't worry. I'm not going to take offense by it. I've had people literally come in and say, I'm using you to send me to sleep. Okay. Off you go then. It doesn't work quite as well now since I've got louder on the microphone. But it did used to work quite well when I was a little bit quieter. I mean, I am boring enough now, I suppose it should still work. It just might not be quite as effective. Getting all the teethy bits that are attached to the spoiler. And washing any paint off that we spill over. See if we can sort it out first. Joe Draco is in Discord as well. But he pops in, he's working on a ship-to-ship space battle game. So that's interesting as well. I mean, he's still very much in the alpha phase at the moment, such as working out ship types, trying to balance stats, and generally get it to work. I don't like a border prince. I prefer Voldemort. Now, Voldemort I can fall asleep to, but that's because he's similar to you, Twisted. He's got that type of, talks in a very similar manner. So it's more soothing than boring. Whereas a border prince, no, I don't like his voice for it. I mean, I can listen to him, but it certainly won't help me sleep. Believe it or not, there's only a few things that I actually listen to that help me sleep. I can't. I can't make that joke to Joe. Joe's too nice. I think I have made a couple of jokes, though. I'm not saying I haven't. I'm just saying I've not done the Joe Mama one. Right, so that's the whitey bits done. So the skull standing out, the teeth standing out, and you've got the skull on here. Oh no, we've got two on the sides as well. Did not spot them. Well, I did, but I forgot about them. So we have a WAAGGHH face on the side here. And make sure that we don't get the little spiky bits underneath, and that we don't reactivate any of the speed paints that were on the bottom layer, so hopefully they've all cured. They should have done by this amount of time, but see this tiny little orc face down at the bottom there. And then we've got another one here on this side. Am I going to Inferno? I won't be going to Inferno. I don't know where it is. And if it's coming up close, that means I've probably looked out on the tickets. And then again, I've got the. Is it close enough? Is Inferno a? Is it like a Gamescom? I mean, I'm more than willing to go look it up. Inferno. Game Zone? Oh, I'm going to play Inferno. I don't know. Oh, that's Dante's Inferno, Dragon's Inferno. Inferno the board game. There we go. Well, that has come down a bit. Inferno phase, players advance. The player advances a soul through hell, earning infamy points as they successfully guide into its corresponding circle. Okay. But what do I get in there? What do I get in Inferno, the board game? Do I get minis to paint? Do I get minis to paint in it? It's not showing me. Only showing me the front of the box. Inferno the Deluxe Edition. Oh, jeez. Oh, you do get minis. Get minis. Oh. Where can I buy it from, though? Reject all cookies. Go away. I want to know what I get in it. What do I get in it? No, Milo, you're actually telling me. Oh, you have your own version. Right. I mean, I'm going to struggle to play your version without a copy of the rules. Or, I mean, if it goes on sale, then providing it's for sale in the UK, I'll certainly give it a look. Because we do like board games. We have Little who likes board games. Sparkles likes playing board games. Obviously, I like playing tabletop games. So, yeah, if I can give it a go, I'll give it a go. But I'm gonna need a link. I'm gonna need something so I can get to it. because I can't seem to find it on there. I'm looking through the board game places, and there's lots and lots of places selling an Inferno game. Inferno Retaliation in that case. Nowhere ever seems to give me a what's in the box. Hex grid maps for publication history. And you also have the Havoc mag. Ooh, seen that magazine. But they don't seem to have anything else available at the moment. That's a bit of a shame. That is a bit of a shame. Right. Well, once you get a bit further along on the rulebook, then if you want someone to help, you go, right, here's the rulebook. You've got miniatures. I know you've got miniatures. Just put them in where they need to be. I'll try playtesting if you want. Even invite a couple of my friends around and go, oh, we've got a new game to play. Let's go. Because my friend Ramrod would be quite happy to play a new game. Especially if it's one where it's like, look, we've got to figure it out and try and work out any kinks and bugs. So in this case, we need to try and meta it to high hell. Ramrod's quite good at helping me meta a game. Because I'll usually find one way of doing it, and then it's up to him to find the way out and the counter to it. And he's usually pretty good at coming up with the counters to whatever I've come up with. Sometimes he needs a little bit of help. But obviously that'll be why these two of us are even getting Calm involved as well. Three of us can get going on that. Plus a few other people that aren't so much board gamers, but would be at least interested enough to go, no, I'll give it a go if you're walking me through it. Hey, if you need help, that's what that's why I was saying putting stuff in the ideas and discussion section on Discord is it's just my entire server wide. Can anyone help me? And between us all, we have various degrees of gaming experience. Some of us play card games more, some of us play tabletop games more, some of us play video games more. I'm not saying anyone's better than the other, but at least gives us different perspectives to look at it from. So ask away, man. Ask away. We will help if we can, or at least I will. I'm hoping everybody else will, if they're able to. I'm not saying, obviously, if you're not able to help, then you don't sit there going, yeah, I'll do it even though I can't. Or if you can only do a little bit, you can only do a little bit, then that's good. A little bit is a little bit, which means a little bit is done, and you don't have to move on to the next bit and work on other things that need doing. I'm using this chisel brush way too much for this paint job. If it's looking for 3D sculptors, however, I'm not sure on how many we've got available to us. Printers, we have Graham from Rogues Den Hobbies, so getting STLs printed, although it will come at a cost, is doable. Because obviously he can't print them out for free. It will cost him something, so therefore he will have to charge for it. But we understand how business works, so we're okay with that. But with the actual, if you wanted 3D sculpting doing, it's been a long, long time since I've done anything anywhere worthy of potential note. In fact, we're probably coming. What? He's got to be coming up to the. Is it the 20-year mark now? Yeah, probably is. Coming up to about the 20-year mark. Since I did anything that had more than 3 vertices, and like, that's it. A nice flat panel. We have the nice black tyres done, even though they're dusty around the edges. What colour rim do slicks have? When you change tyres in Formula 1, mediums, hards, wets, and slicks all have a different.
Oh.
Right, okay.
I know what you mean.
I mean, if you can just. Yeah, how? If you've got just the first rough draft of a rulebook, to be able to go, start here, this is how I hope it plays out, this is how I hope it does, this is how you gang, army, deck, however you compose whatever you're using, character even. As long as it's something base, because, as I said, I have enough models to be able to go, right, okay, that's one character, that's a different character, that's a different character. So I have enough models to differentiate between characters and units, and have enough armies to be able to go, right, if it is full units, I can go, right, that's a unit of them, that's a unit of them, that's a unit of them. So I can definitely proxy models. That's not a problem. But a rule set just to start me round, definitely worthwhile. Not a problem. How you have a nice night. You have a nice night. But bear that in mind for tomorrow. Whenever you wake up, if you just want a little bit of, would that work? How would that work? It's worked like this for me. Send it on to us. You may get more of a response than you want. You may get less of a response than you want, but you'll get some kind of a response. I can say that much at least. May not be the perfect response, and some of us can be quite brutal. No worries. But just one. Some of us can be quite brutal with our honesty, shall we say? Probably the best way I can put that one. But you will get exactly that. You will get an honest answer. And obviously, we know that we're trying not to step on anyone's toes regarding certain rules and certain ways certain things work. We don't want to be getting you in trouble with a couple of the other companies for having stolen mechanics or anything like that. We know what one or two of them are like, especially for chasing legal teams. I would rather not put you into that position. So if you're not aware of those particular game mechanics and what companies they come from, and you come up with it as an idea, then that's fine. But some of us will be aware of, it's like, yeah, if you use that mechanic and do it like that, that's pretty much just ripping off bolt action, or that one's ripping off Battletech, or that one's going straight off Warhammer. Not that any of them actually have too many copyrights over things like game mechanics, but it won't stop them trying. They will try. And if you haven't got a big enough wallet, they'll just, rather than you actually be able to do it, they'll just lock you up in legal battles so you can't fund your game anymore. So therefore it flops due to not being able to get it out because they've bullied you. And we want to avoid that at all costs. Now, where do I want dags and checks to go after I have finished off the wheels? I do need to finish off the wheels first, though. The outside of them is very silver, and I don't want the outside of them to be very silver. It's supposed to be quite black. I would like to put the corresponding ring around it to make it a super slick or soft tyre, or however you want to describe it, depending what type of racing you watch. But I can't remember what colour ring it is that goes around them. So if anyone can remember what goes around the softs, I think it's red. I think the actual colour of the ring is red. I think mediums are yellow, wets are green, hards are white, but I can't be certain. I could ask Sparkles to just pop it on the TV from over the weekend. Formula One, so I can look at the tyres. Red. Red. Hello, Graham. Ah, when did you pop in? You popped in there. Watching Alien Earth, so, right, fair enough. Enjoy, mate, enjoy. Started watching it, didn't get the Alien vibe from it. I wasn't happy with how they were going on, so I didn't watch the rest of it. Maybe I should. Maybe I should at least give it a go, eh? Get past the first episode. But just like with films, if it doesn't get me in that first episode at least a little bit, then it's not got much of a chance going forward, to be quite honest. I've already lost attention. So the lovely, lovely, lovely trim for the wheels. Whew! Say hello to Mrs. for us, and don't forget to try and give her a jump scare, Graham. Wait till it's quiet. Wait till she's not expecting it. Then rah! And duck. Obviously, you've got to duck if you're going to do the scare. Because usually something comes flying straight at you afterwards. At least in my experience, it does anyway. It might only be a cushion, but you still don't want to take a cushion to the face. It may not hurt, but it's just not pleasant. Ooh, can I have an R break, please, Ali? I wouldn't mind an R break. Never had an R break. I think it might be fun. Ooh, lots and lots of black. See, look how bright that one is compared to. Obviously, that's nice and dark now. And then you've got that one that's super bright and shiny. Super bright and shiny. That's what actually, I'm not going to use the chisel one, it's doing me heading. I'm going to go back to the fact that this is a Winsor & Newton foundation always makes me absolutely pickles my brain, because I got this from what was WH Smith. See, all the WH Smiths have now closed now, unless it's in a train station or a transport hub, and they all turned to TG somethings. Essentially the same shop, just different bloody name. It's happened before when it was John Menzies, and then it became WH Smith. I know it's TG. I think it's TG Hughes. I'll find out on Wednesday for definite, and then I'll forget by the time I get home. Well, I'll go in the shop, definitely have it because I'll get a receipt and everything. And then I'll forget the actual name. I know it's TG, but I'll forget the actual name of the shop by the time I get home. Which isn't a good thing, really. But in case anyone's wondering where I get my combat patrols from, there's your answer. I get it from TG Hughes. Oh, TJ, I can't remember. As I said, it's not a good thing that I can't remember that. I know where it is. I walk into it every day. It's been there for bloody years. Even the staff have been there for quite a while. Even when I was working in the same centre. I don't recommend working retail for anyone. Retail is not a good thing to work in. It is stressful, it is frustrating, and you get so many people who think that they know everything and know all the laws and all the regulations. It's like, do you realise that some of us have to go through training to actually get to know these? The worst one I heard was the customer's always right. So, no, the customer's not always right. The customer thinks they're always right. Or some customers do anyway. The ones that know they're not always right actually come in and will have the actual right discussion with you to get whatever it is resolved. Because they're aware. The other ones are pretty much just Karens. Thinking if they kick up enough fuss, they'll get what they want. Oh dear, no. Probably a reason why I don't work retail. I've not worked it for a number of years now. At the times I've had shouting matches with people in the middle of the shop floor. Especially when they insult my staff. Oh boy, is that not a good idea? So working in retail for quite a while, I did end up into some position where I had people underneath me. You don't criticise my staff because I train them. And I know they did the job right. So there we have 4 wheels painted, and we still have the silvery bits in the middle, but the nice bright, well, nice dark black tyres. Okay, now we need a pencil because now we need to think about where we're going to be putting dags and checks and all those things. All the arky things. And after that I can start working on arcs. The actual 3 arcs, is it? No, 1 arc and 2 Gretchen. 1 arc and 2 Gretchen that pilot this thing. As I said, I was going to open that just so I can check on things. Now everything seems to be okay, but if I leave it like that, at least it will notify me now. Where to put dags and checks? It needs checks on it somewhere. It needs, so by dags and checks, in case you're wondering, those are dags, basically white triangles, and those are checks. So I need to find somewhere to put one or both of those on here. I'm thinking checks are probably going to be the easier one. In fact, checks are going to be the real easy one, aren't they? But where did they go? Do I do small little ones? On things like pipe coverings? And like welded on patchwork? I think I do. Let's grab the pencil. No, that's not how we do dags and checks. We paint it white first and then we get the pencil. So we have one little plate there. And we have two more little plates on here. And any more where I think I'm going to be able to get them in and have them working well. Welcome back, Ali. Yeah, I think I'm going to put one on the front down here. You use decals. Oh, no, I wish I had decals to do it with. This is all by hand. All by hand. So I'm going to have dags on this bit, and I'm going to put checks on the few little bits. So the little panel that's covering up here, the two little panels there, they're going to get the checks. That section down there is going to get the dags. But I've got to wait for them to dry first. But at least I know where they're going. And no vehicle for the arcs would be complete without a big red button. And everyone knows what the big red button does. The big red button just makes you go. It does. That's what it does. And it's painted red to make it irresistible to press. So you're going to see it, you're just going to want to press it. It's a big red button. It's the only big red button on the entire thing. Press the big red button. But I only need a little dab of red to do with a big red button. I know that doesn't sound right. I'm doing a big red button, but I only need a little bit of red. It's because it's not as big as a big red button. It's not like some real big red buttons. But it's big for the model. Yeah, turbo boost. Nitrous. Pure, unrestrained WAAGGHH energy. So you have a big red button there for the sole purpose of slapping it and powering that thing up properly. Again, just mixing little bits of the jade with ivory to try and lightly blend up through some of these areas for the paint. I'm not too good at blending, but I will do my best where I can. Come back for a little bit of the darker version. Just to get it on there and on there. And bring it through so it is slightly lighter and brighter at certain sections. No worries, Twisted. You have a good night, mate, and have a... Yeah, go get yourself something to eat. Help sort yourself out on that one. Hello, Sekka. Well. Welcome in. Hope you've had a good weekend. I think I've asked everybody else so far. Mixed responses. Mainly yes or no response at all. Still a mix of responses, though. So we can go with that. Right, that white needs cleaning up. See that how it's bled through the colours? And you can't because the light's too bloody bright. It has started to bleed the colour through there a bit. Even though it's not dry, it's reactivated the red from underneath. Not good, it just means I didn't get enough yellow over it to stop it reacting afterwards. So that's not good. But that is where the dags are going to go. So let's see how well the checks bit has dried. And the answer is no, it hasn't. And I've just spotted a bit that I've missed anyway, so I'm going to have to go back over some of it. Just to get it right up to that edge. So that I can get roughly square. Well, rough squares on it as much as possible. Let's try that now. Oh, yes, you've been posting pictures. Let me go check. You have been posting pictures. I'm sure you posted pictures. If you're not posting pictures on mine, I'm sure you've posted pictures somewhere else. I'm sure you've posted pictures. Gaming? No. Where did I see these pictures? I'm not going daft. I'm pretty sure you sent pictures of trolls going through. And I can't remember where it is. And maybe thinking you posted on somebody else's server? It's more than possible. I do lose track of the amount of servers that I'm on sometimes. Is it that one? No. Nope, it is not. Right, okay. It might be on YouTube, actually. That would be a good one. I'm not. You don't have to. It's entirely if you want to. My Discord server's free. There's one paywall thing, and that's so I can do one-to-one chats with anyone who joins my Patreon. And that's all of one person at the minute. Thank you very much to EB. But if anyone else wants to join it is there as an option. Again, you do not feel like you have to. It is not a mandatory thing. As I said, I have one locked room and it's a voice chat at that. Everything else is completely open and free. And I intend to keep it that way. As much as some people will probably call me an idiot. I know you need to do this. I know you need to... I don't want to play those games. That means it's like... Yeah, it stops it from being what it is and turns it into something else. So I don't want to play those games. Which is quite good for everybody else, because you get all my stuff for free. Free stuff is always good. What's the link? The link should be in the description of the video. Oh, wait a minute. No, you're in that one. You're in the portrait mode cam. Okay. I can't put links in there. Bugger. Let me just go check my channel. The actual main channel itself. See if it's available. Yes, it is. So if you actually click on my channel, and it has more sections. So it'll give you a link to Instagram, Amazon wishlist, Buy Me a Coffee, Discord, and Patreon. As I said, the Discord is completely free. You just click on that link and follow it. If it doesn't, there is one in the link of every video that I do, but only on the full size one. So if you're watching it on the portrait mode, I don't know if it'll actually allow you to open that up, because I don't see anywhere on my phone for it to do. Let's find out. Oh, description. Okay, yeah, so if you click on the little dots and go to description, it should have... No, it won't let you click that. Right, okay. So, yeah. Second, if you find yourself on my main chat, on the horizontal view as opposed to the portrait view, I can put a direct link in for you. And that'll just make it easy. Oh, if you're on a laptop or an iPad, then yes, it might still work, but it doesn't work from phones. I've just found that out by testing. Usually a fun way to actually find something out is to actually do it, isn't it? Right, so I need to dry this brush off a little bit. Although it is my chisel brush, it also works slightly as a dry brush as well. Then I can try and pick up the front of these missiles with the red. Just to bring them out a little bit more, so that there is red across these three here. You got it. Awesome. In fact, you should tell me right pretty much straight away if somebody's popped in. Awesome. There you go. Thank you for coming in, man. Now there is obviously this general chat work in progress, finished models. If you've got anything of your own channel or you want to put in other people's channels and interesting stuff, is obviously where that goes. If you want us to help you brainstorm something, that's what the ideas and discussion is. It started with Calm and his Tau and Crew. Nobody's used it for anything else since, but it is still there for people to use. Also, we have a voice chat as well. If you build up friendships or chat with people in here, and just like, no, I enjoy chatting to that person, and you want a voice chat, feel free to use the voice chat. Right, now let's start on these arcs. I want to bring the colour down a bit. Don't want them that bright. Need to bring that green down to more of the green that's on WAAGGHH, because this is a very, very bright green that I did initially on these. Just while I was testing out what colours and where everything was. You'll be surprised about the amount of people that I've spoke to with various different accents. And you got my Mancunian accent, which is not as broad at the moment as it can be. But if I speed up with my talking or relax a little bit more, and certain accents come out. especially the one closer to a yonner. And if you don't know what a yonner is, then you're lucky. I mean, it could be worse. You could get both me and Mooj in there at the same time. In which case, I'm slipping back into that accent as well. But you'll also occasionally get me and Buzzard in there, and I'll slip into that accent slightly also. I do pick them up very quickly. It's both a blessing and a curse on how quick I can pick up an accent. I mean, when I went to Scotland, I only went for a couple of days and I come back with little twangs of it in my voice. There we go. So the orcs are now more the same colour as Glasgow now, rather than being the bright, bright green. Well, there's a fair bit done on it. Just got lots more to do. There's so much detail on these. Because they're ramshackle and all put together and bashed up. There's lots of little bits, and that just makes them so much more difficult to paint than a Space Marine. Pardon me. We put a line down the middle there. And then we separate that into 6 or 8. And the same on that one. Well, that one's only going to be 4. And then again down the centre of that one. And let's see what we can get off on this one. So that one's going to be a 6er. We're going to have 8 tiny ones on that one and just a 4 square on that one. And because of where the rivets are on this, it should make it nice and easy to do dags. So that should clean that up nice and easy. We'll go for the dags first. I'm going to have to use a really frigging small brush to do the checks. I know my hand's in the way. I am a cacander. If you don't know what that is, then I'm a lefty. I must admit, all the best people are lefties. I'm not saying some of yous aren't great. I'm just saying lefties are fucking awesome. So we have the dags going down that section, and this brush is now far too big to do the little checks. So now I'm going to have to find a tiny, tiny, tiny one. You should be able to do it. A little bit on the end of my brush. A little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Reach back. Fight for each other. When the warboss shouts, "Whoa!" we get to it. All the boys, they don't afraid to take out the war, 'cause they loves to fight. Do it all night long. They don't need no reason. Stand there and club each other. Don't you tell me no, don't you tell me no, don't you tell me no, don't you tell me no war. I'll just be cramping. So, oh boss, please. A nice new stabber for me to shoot. Oh, beakies. Not that beaky. The beaky helmet. Space Marines. I'm not authorizing going out shooting my subscribers. Unless it's metaphorically on the tabletop. And then you can play. Good evening, Joe. Good evening. Were your ears burning? Were they? We had young Howie in here earlier. Obviously, another game creator trying to create a game of Inferno based around his own rule set. And obviously, creating games. Your name popped up. Because, well, why wouldn't it if we're talking about creating games? Especially with people that have access to my Discord server where they can put ideas and ask for people's responses. So I think we may be getting an alpha test version of the rules for people to give go and comment on and try and help a little bit with. Same with yours though. If you want to give us all an alpha set of rules and go, just use whatever you've got to hand to make out, and then we can just run through an alpha set, which could work. Obviously, we told them we'll try and keep away from clashing rule sets and overlapping IPs and things like that. So no ripping off rules from other people, no ripping off turns, and silly things like that. Now we need a brown lever. A brown lever. Coming through his waistcoat down here. Get a bit more colour on this orc boy, who is daft enough to get behind the wheel of this here buggy and hurtle it towards the closest thing, and possibly teleport as well, because it's a shock jump dragster. It will tunnel through the warp and teleport around the battlefield. If you roll a 6 on your advance, it just goes and then appears somewhere else. A very fast moving vehicle. There's one feature. Have you got a thruster burn? Have you got a thruster burn option for some things that want to just almost like ram or charge? That's only just come into my head. Yeah, a thruster burn ability for the faster ships. Have I just asked you to put a new mechanic in that you've not even thought of and you're thinking, I can't even fit that in there? No. Lads, shut up. In which case, that's fine. Just an idea that popped into my head. Using essentially what is the similarity to a shock jump dragster rule, but obviously if you've got a ship that's trying to press into go into boarding operations, then flank speed. Aha. Night Ali, thank you for calling in and thank you for spending some of your time with us. I hope you have a nice night sleep and a good day tomorrow. Thank you for calling in. Right. I'm going to have to do washes on this thing now, aren't I? I don't like doing washes. Washes take ages to bleed in dry. But it is at the wash stage that I do get to advertise Graham. That's pretty much what it is. Ah, cat aggro. No. Where's my cat? My cat's asleep on the blanket over there. Just over there on the chair. We got a nice special blanket and she likes it, and now she sleeps on it. Instead of pestering to get up onto our laps all the time. I mean, she still pesters to get up on our laps, just not all the time anymore. So, Aggro Earthshade across all of the metal bit. All of it. And then other bits will be getting a little bit of null nile as well. But I want to make sure I get that Agrax in to give that slight rusty and not quite. Yours is pinning you to the chair. I'm lucky mine can't get on my PC chair. It's just a little bit too high for her because she's an old kitty now. So it's just that touch too high for her to be able to get on while I'm sat on it. Because obviously my knees raise it up a little bit further. And her only option really to get up there would be to dig her claws in. And she's a nice considerate kitty and won't do that. Won't dig her claws in. Not to scramble up onto my chair anyway. So she's very, very nice like that. Not so nice to Sparkles. No. Sparkles sits down and that's it. If she's not got anything on her knee, the cat will will go for it and will have her trapped. He gets kitty trapped a lot to Sparkles. Me, not so much. I'm the feeder. I'm the one that she comes to every time I move if she wants feeding. So when I go for a little break to refill my cup of tea, go for the bathroom breaks or anything like that I need while I'm able to, because I'm not quite on camera, which is weird because I am on camera for the portrait mode, but I'm not on camera for the full screen mode. I'm not quite sure why that works out that way, but it does. Take a little bit of that excess off there and brush it into the teeth at the front, and we'll see how we get on from that bit. Then we'll see when he's null-oiling afterwards. Hopefully not many places, but we will find out. While I let that dry, because it is a wash, it is the longest thing that takes to dry, I'm going to throw my WAAGGHH Den Hobbies break screen up, which I'm sure many of you are used to by now, which is this one. Which just thank all of you for being here, subscribing and spending your time with me, and also gives you a 10% discount code for WAAGGHH Den Hobbies. So please remember that. Last 10 at checkout will get you 10% off if you're buying stuff from WAAGGHH Den Hobbies. But we also need music. So I'm going to mute me for a minute, and once the music comes on, that's when I'm going to disappear.
Whispers break on a sleepless line. Every word falls out of time. Empty echoes, nothing new, but I still reach for you. Every signal drifts away, but the static makes me stay. Through the quiet, through the gray, I still hear you anyway. When the signals fade tonight, I'll still keep your voice in distance fades. Every promise the silence made. Still I wait on the other side for the words we never tried. Every signal drifts away, but the static makes me stay. Through the quiet, through the gray, I still hear you anyway. When the signals fade tonight, I'll still keep your voice inside. Through the silence, through the rain, I'll remember all the same. Even if the sound is gone, I'll keep holding, I'll hold on. Every silence, every ache is the proof that hearts don't break. When the signals fade tonight, I'll still keep your voice inside. Through the silence, through the rain, I'll remember all the same. I'll remember all the same. I'll remember all the Every scar is a story told. Every silence is growing old. I hear echoes I can't outrun. Shadows bleeding from what we've done.
Every lie leaves a bitter taste. Every dream that we can't replace. I hear voices that call my name, pulling me back into the flame.
We can't hide from what we've been. Every loss drags us in.
Through the static, through the glass,
Still we hear the voices pass.
voices from the past remain,
Calling out
through endless rain.
We were broken, we were lost, but we'll rise above the cost.
But we'll rise above the cost.
But we'll rise above the cost.
Every night feels the same old way. Every truth is too far away. I still hear them inside my head, words I wish I had never said.
Every chain was a choice we made. Every moment begins to fade, but the fire is still alive. Through the ashes we'll
We
survive.
can't hide from what we've been. Every loss drags us in.
Through the static, through the glass, still we hear the voices pass.
Voices from the past remain, calling out through endless rain.
We were broken, we were lost, but we'll rise above the cost.
But we'll rise above the cost.
Well, we have to close that first. And then, no, we don't have that one on. Turn that one off. And I'm back. Hello, everybody. Hope you had enough chance to go and get your drinks, your whatever else you needed to do at the time. Oh, I'm cold now. Shouldn't have moved. I'm freezing. It was nice and warm when I was sat here, but I moved a bit and now I'm freezing. It's not good. Oh, Secco, well, he does said Secco with accents were alright. What did you miss, Joe? I'm not. Because I miss everything. In case you're wondering, how do you not know what I missed? You said it. I miss everything. I even miss what comes out of my mouth. Think I listen to me? No, I talk twaddle. I don't listen to me. I don't have my headphones on because my own voice puts me off. So while we're just making sure that wash has dried, I'm gonna fill in the rest of the clothing and the helmet and stuff on the driver. And on the Gretchen. Now I don't want it too thick on the black. I still want it to look kind of dark grey on the Gretchen. Whereas with the arcs I want it to look much more black, so that's definitely going to need a null oil wash over it. With this little bracelet thing there. He does have something on. I've also got to remember that there's a delay. There's a delay between what I say here and how long it takes to go out onto YouTube. So when I ask a question, I've got to remember I've got to wait for the answer. I don't know. I've missed the ball. And some gubbins. That needs to be painted up bright. That's not good, is it? Don't want to be dropping the ball and don't want to be missing gubbins. But I do want the null oil. Because now I can get cracking with that. Because while that's doing on the wheels and some of the other bits, I can start working around it. Okay, where have I put my null oil? There it is. We have the null oil. We have it. Look, it's here. It's here. I have noticed my brakes do seem to lose me viewers, apparently. Maybe I should stop doing them. That's just a maybe, though. No guarantee. No worries, Joe. Speak to you later, mate. Have a good evening. And although Sparkles does have some slight volume up, I do have to keep double checking that he's not getting picked up by my microphone. For some reason this microphone picks up everything I don't want it to, but not everything I want it to. Always fun. In fairness though, Streamlabs have told me about 4 times that my CPU's not happy. Don't know why. Not quite sure why my CPU's not happy, but it's not. Okay, so now we've got rusty bits and oily bits. And another bauble bit that I missed. It's always fun when you find things that you've got to go back and do, isn't it? What you can see from each angle is very much different from others. Makes it fun. Look at the whole model and every rotation across all 3 axes. And just to make sure you've got everything even remotely right the way you want it. Doesn't always work, but we've got to give it a try. That was lucky. That could have ended so much worse. So now we've got the green barbly bit back here to catch the energy bits, and the green barbly bit down here to do the same on. And then coming back in through with the lighter colours that we've made up ourselves. Which starts over here. And just get the highest of the highs and leave the low lows. In this case, I'm going to give it a slight dry brushing over a few of these gubbins bits. Not quite lighting or source lighting, but something at least akin to it to show that there is an overspill of energy. So it's not completely all done in that one colour, but it is bright enough to go, look, this thing is the dangerous bit. And obviously that very bright red button is a very bright red button. So we've done washes. What else do we need to do? I need to pick up the back of the neck of that little Gretchen is what I need to do. Where's my death guard? There it is. There it is. Oh no, I've already got a big developer death guard. Don't need to get that one. Pardon me. And again, thank you for anyone who's stuck around and is still here to watch me do this bit. Not particularly easy, let me tell you. Why down the back I'm going to do more of a stipply effect than a full paint. That way I get to keep some of the shadows that I've put in already and just catch the higher areas. There's some depth of skin toning going on. Now I'll get the super small brush again. Now we want the white. And we can get his teeth done. Whew. Actually not looking too bad. It is not looking too bad at the moment at all. I do need to work on the basing and the eyes. Basing and the eyes. So eyes need a little dollop of red because they're orcs and they have bright red eyes. Don't know why. Games Workshop just decided they do, and I'm actually going to keep that as well. It's one of the few things I keep regarding base colours. As much as I enjoy doing my own colour schemes, certain things are just as they are. Fuck that up. There we go. Fixed-ish. That's better. Now let's see if I can get into... God, his eyes are tiny. I've got to try and get in there and get his left eye. How I'm going to get in there and get his left eye, I really don't have a clue. But I do need to try and get in there somehow to do his left eye. There we go. And his right eye. There we go. So we've got the eyes done. Got the skins done. Use the brown again just to come down and do the grenade rack on the back of his... There we go. So we've got the bullet rack now on the back. It's coming down the back of the Gretchen. Pardon me. Pardon me. That's the majority of the actual model itself done. Now I've got to start working on the base. Nice, because it's a wheeled vehicle. I'm wanting to leave tyre tracks, as well as doing the tea leafy thing. I think I'm going to have to do the tyre track first. Which in this case means I will need some kind of texture paint. Now I should have something like Astro Granite or something like along those lines here somewhere. Sterling Mud? Will Sterling Mud do it? I think Sterling Mud will do it. Ow! That was my wrist that cracked then as well, in case you heard that nice snapping noise. That was my wrist. Now, the problem with this is to get it all mixed up again, is to get the actual medium mixed with the paint and the glue that's in here. Now, I know I have several of these and some of them are quite old, so it might not be as mixing as easily as I wish it to. fairness, this just ripped the entire bloody lid off. It's not what I wanted to happen. But since when does what I want to happen on this? Now I need an old, battered, useless brush to use this with. Grab a nice big blob of sterling mud. And try to, as much as possible, leave where the tyres have gone. But that's going to have to go all the way back because obviously the tyres ran over all this bit. Get some more out. And then let's start on the other side. Line it right behind the tyre. And then trying to smudge it out as much as possible in the right area. Without getting it all over the bleeding model. I do want some of that texture to dry and come through, so I'm applying it quite liberally and then trying to push it into the areas where I need it to be. So there is some muddy texture round where the wheels have driven. Now I can't remember how long this stuff takes to actually go off or dry. The term probably is more used is how long it takes to dry rather than go off. And then of course I'm going to have to come to the back here and then extend it out past the end of these. I think this is the first time I've used like sterling mud or astro granite. And now I've got the areas where the mud's going to be. So the surrounding areas are going to be the tea leaf mixture. Just so it covers the rest of it to match with the rest of the army. But anywhere it's driven, it's getting astro granite, not astro granite, yeah, this stuff. Mud, the mud one, sterling mud. Now I'm definitely going to have to change my water now that I've just done this to it. Now I could, I suppose, paint the entire thing in sterling mud and then sprinkle on the tea bit where I want it to be. That's not a bad idea. I think I'm just going to do that. And use this as the glue for the tea leaves. That way it's the right colour all underneath it. Let's do the entire base in this, shall we? All of it, every last bit. Oh, I'm not getting that on camera. At least then hopefully when it dries and goes off it'll stick to it. And it'll also keep the texture that I need it to. And the bits that I've not. Helps me give the base a good covering while I'm at it, I suppose. Now getting it in some of them is not going to be easy. Some of the areas are going to be a little bit more difficult than the others. But we'll just deal with that in a minute. Pop the lid back on there so I don't knock it all over my desk. We don't want to knock something like a texture paint all over the desk. That's not a good idea. What we are going to do is get a piece of paper that's already folded. Well, that I've just folded. Pick this up like so, and then rather than dip, which is what I normally do, I'm going to more sprinkle it. So then I can keep around the tyres and behind the tyres uncovered. And the hard bit is going to be this bit here at the back. First of all, let's tip all that off. And now we've got a nice applicator. So kind of pile it up under there and then shake it through. Shake it through. And there we go. Oh, I've missed an area with where I need to get the still in mud back again. I mean that is a messy brush. That is a very messy brush, isn't it? Clear most of it off. That Sterling Mud's done a very good job of cleaning this brush. A scoop of it out, because you are using scoops of this rather than just little painty bits. And get that all up in there. Get it all up in there. Make sure that right behind the wheels is actually muddy. And let's try and get in here as well, because none of the tea leaves actually got stuck in there, which is not nice, and it's not what I wanted it to happen. I wanted it to get in there, but it didn't. A bit more. And rather than trying to paint, I'm going to spiral the brush around to make sure it does actually get contact with everywhere that it needs to. There we go. Wash that off again. I can't use this water for any normal painting now. It is full of bits and all sorts. But it could be worse. It could be a lot worse. I could actually try using it. Tap, 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 tap. And then tap, 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 tap. There we go. One muddied up base. I don't know how I managed to do this, but I go for breaks. I think I've got loads left to do. I come back, I look at it. I've not actually got as much left to do as I thought, and then I end up not having as much of the stream going as I wish. Isn't this fun? Time management is not my best skill by any stretch of the imagination. So where do we go from here? Well, we have a look what it is that I need to do now. First of all, it's knocking a lot of this off here. And then coming back with the blues just to clean up this section. Then that needs a wash, doesn't it? Oh crud, I'm just not supposed to use that water, so I'm probably very careful using it. There we go. And for that section, obviously WAAGGHH, or Quellia Green Shade as it's called. I just think he's absolutely amazing, so I call it WAAGGHH. Focusing, but yeah, there we go. So this is going to be for all the Shokk attack gun bits and pieces. And then I'm going to build up the lighter one on a bit of a dry brush, and then a little bit of a dry brush over the top of especially the back section, just to brighten it all up a little bit more than what it is at the moment. I'll come back through with a actual brush for the harder sections to reach. Let's take a little bit off there, space it around here and around here. And in around the back of there. Let's give us a base start to go off. Let's get rid of whatever that little bit of whatever that is. That did not look right. I'll wait for the Quellia Green Shade to dry. Should have done this before I went out, shouldn't I? What I'm going to do now is I'm going to change my water so I can actually wash my brushes. There we go. Nice clean water. Always good. Thank you for holding on. All those of you who have. Don't know how many people actually do hold on. I really don't. I know I can't actually go off the numbers that it tells me on the screen because that lies. I don't know. Right, so I'm going to need a dry brush. Essentially, I'm going to need to pre-mix that paint dry brush. I'm going to take most of the paint off, which means I've got to do it on the back of my hand as well. And hopefully going over some of that won't kill it all. What I don't want to do is kill the colour that I've just put on. No, that works okay. A little bit of lighter colour into the Gretchen. Not too light, but just a slight shade. And then little bits underneath. I know I'm not very good at source lighting, but I can at least have a go at the areas that will pick up the light from the engine, particularly around the back of the vehicle. That way it just show up a little bit around the back, and that is bright now. So there we have one Shokk Drunk Dragster ready and raring to go, screaming across any battlefield that it wants to, and occasionally teleporting around when he presses the big red button. He has to go dry now. He's done. He's got a few dags, he's got some checks, he's got teeth, he's got a few ARC logos. All the ARCs and Gretchen have been painted as well, and the Shokk attack gun is ready to fire. As you can see there, nice blue bits on the front of it, along with the spinny section at the back that actually propels it forward. So let's put him up there to dry, which is pretty much where he's been living for the last 5 years. And let's see what else we've got. Now we do have a custom booster blaster, which has got a gun on top and is like this, with a little Gretchen on the back firing off a pistol. A Gretchen's popping his head out there, an ARC up here with a stick bomb, and an ARC driving. So let's get a big brush to dust it, because he has been up there a while as well. I'm going to get the big old brush, give it a damn good going over just to clear any dust off it, but without hopefully damaging the model. What we don't want to do is trying to paint over dust, because then it doesn't stick. It needs to be nice and flat for it to adhere to. So let's get that bit nicely done. Now, of course, yellow is the colour of my army. So we have some nice big panels here. Start having a go over with Avalon Sunset. So where's my wedge brush? There's my wedge brush. Give the Avalon Sunset a go, and then we'll start on the custom booster blaster. Get the base yellow down for this, and I believe I will call that a night after that one, and that'll take us into Wednesday with the Boomdacker Snazwagon as well. I mean, hopefully I can get some of the painting done, at least priming, for the Boomdacker Snazwagon done on Wednesday when I actually get the model. And then come Monday next week, I should hopefully be able to finish both of these off. But for now, we want the yellow. When I first got the orcs, I pretty much swore to myself I was never going to do them the yellow colour. Now that I've actually got round to painting them and going off all the other colours of my other armies, kind of, I have to paint it yellow. It's the only one I've not really used. I've got red army, I've got blue army, I've got orangey army. I don't have a yellow, which makes it a little bit easier to tell the two armies apart, even though they're all completely different. Just having it bright enough and colourful enough to go, right, no, that's part of that army because that's all black with blue shoulder pads. That's part of that army because that's all yellow and green. The Tyranids are the Tyranids because, well, they've got big blotches of purple on them. So let's try and get all this nicely coloured. Oh, and Sunset does not like my wet palette. And I don't know why. Maybe because it's yellow, and yellows are just an awkward colour at the best of times. No, I don't need a perfectly flat yellow because I will be going back over it with the stipply effect. Again, with the brighter yellow. But I do need a good enough coating of yellow so that it can go over it. I do need a big old dollop right there. And a proper clean up of the brush because I went right up to the ferrule on that one. See, it's still there around the edge of the ferrule. I need to get rid of that. Otherwise it will dry and it will break my brush. It'll push all the bristles out. There we go. Now we can get back to painting. Yeah, that way. Or Sparkles has to get this. It gets this in stereo. I can hear a laptop going. It's got my voice on it. And that's all over the other side of the room. So that's not too bad for me. Or Sparkles has it on a knee. Imagine getting me in stereo. And delayed at that. Because she hears one thing from me and then it says it again about 30 seconds later on a computer. One of the major disadvantages to using third-party software is that delay between when I say something and when you finally get to hear it. Or when you respond and then I finally get to read it. It is a bit of a tricky one. Certainly something that takes getting used to. I hope everybody else is having a fun October, getting all your green skins done. Maybe even just starting a green skin army for the sake of it because it's October. In fairness, if you've been getting the Combat Patrol magazines, you should have a nice little force built up. Being a war boss in mega armor with a huge chopper. And his Gretchen mounted big shooter. As well as 2 units of boys, Death Copters, Death Dread. And as of next week, you will have a Boomdecker Snazwagon, which is the last Orc unit you'll get from Hachette Part Works in this run. I'm not sure what you actually get if you order the premium one, because you get 1 premium model for each unit. So yeah, I think you end up with, it might actually be a big mech. It might be a big mech, don't quote me on that though. I don't get the premium editions, I don't know what comes with them. So there'll be some of you lovely people out there who will have more than what I'll be getting through the Hachette Part Works. I actually think you get a land fortress for the Votan. I think. I know you got a Hive Tyrant, and I know you got a Ballistus Dreadnought for the Space Marines and the Tyranids. So I know that's 2 of the models that you got. And I think you get the Rogel Dawn battle tank with the Imperial Guard. Or the Astra Militarum, depending whichever one you want to call it. It's Imperial Guard. Go old school, it's always better. Ain't no school like the old school. Alright, so that's all the actual panelling done. Most of the front work is engine-y stuff. So that isn't right. That isn't going to be yellow. Up here though can be. Just so I know where I've blocked in the colour. So that's going to be the block part of the colour for the custom booster blaster. Like the front grille should be as well, I think. Or at least surrounding the front grille. And the base of the tusks. And they're going to be quite difficult to recover with ivory, but not impossible. So we'll get it done that colour, and then we can recover it afterwards if necessary. And I'll be doing the same thing with this regarding the basing, just towards the end. So now we have the 2 big tusks at the front and all the panels at the back. Now as the drying, let's try and even out that coat of paint while we have a chance. Let's try and make it as nice and flat as possible. Keeping our brush strokes in nice, simple directions. So it's always pulling the paint in the same way. And that's how we get nice flat colours. It's that two thin coats thing. As much as we take the mick out of it, it bloody works. Last little bit back in here. Right in there. Right in there. Some of these paint jobs are just difficult just to get into the places where you need to paint. No, when I did the Shokk Dragster, I originally sprayed it red. One of the first things I did with my airbrush. And then what do I go and do? I go and change the entire colour of it. Because I'm clever and smart, you see. Now we need the big gun. The big gun. And parts of this are going to have to be done yellow as well, just to match in. Little section there on the back. And we'll do these section here around the middle, which is rather lumpy and bumpy. Kind of plasma coil-esque. Even though I think this is called a rivet cannon. I'm going to paint the majority of this yellow, knowing that I'm going to come back in and spot in the rest of the bright colours. But again, getting a nice base area down so I know where's going what colour. Helps a great deal. There we go. There's not much yellow going on that bit, but there's enough. There is enough. Clean off your. You know that paint waters, that yellow. I could probably use it as a wash. Okay, let's put you back on there now. See how well you. There we go. So that's the base colours and layers that are going to be done on the custom booster blaster. And there's going to be a lot of metal work going on around here, and this is probably where all the dags and checks are going to go. Pardon me. Well, the tyres are going to be black, but there's going to be a lot more silver and shiny bits going on because of the spikes. And you can see they're all over the wheels. It's even got treads on this one and still got spikes inside the treads. See, easier here on the front ones. And it has art glyphs on the hubcaps as well. Ooh, didn't spot them. Let's get a bit of paint in there, just to help me spot that and get it in, so I can remember that this bit needs to be metal in here. But as to which colours I'm going to use for metallics across the front, I'm not 100% sure if it's all just going to be lead belcher, like I did with the Shokk Dragster, or whether I'm going to put a bit of bronze or brass in there. I might stick a bit of bronze in just because it's a more browny colour across some of the engine parts. I'm definitely getting these sections in because I want these to be bolt gun. That way I can paint in the little art glyphs in the middle. And it should all be nice and hunky-dory and fine. Okay, so that's the start of this one done. And now I can compare it to the other one to see how far along I need to come and what I need to do. Hopefully you've dried a bit more up here now. So there is quite a bit more to do just to get it to match up. I mean, the tyres not too bad because they are just going to be plain black mostly. But that is definitely coming onto something. It's going to need a wash because of the amount of red that this has under it. And it shows the amount of red that's under there. So this is definitely going to need a yellow or orange wash and then going over it again just to try and bring it more into tone. The slightly orangey tone that's on this one rather than this one. That's a lot of metallic going on there. A lot of metallic. I'm going to have to get a couple of brushes ready for next week. I'm going to need some brushes ready for Wednesday, aren't I? That should be fun. So next week will be the custom booster blaster and the Shokk jump dragster. Not the Shokk jump dragster, the custom booster blaster and the Boomdacker Snaz wagon. One's got a Gretchen hanging off the back, the other one's got a Gretchen strapped to the front. Gotta love ARCs, gotta love them. So that is the plan for next week. So models and musings. Which one am I on? Am I on 114 now? I think it's 114, yeah, 114. So models and musings 115 will be 2 ARC vehicles. Because hopefully I'll be able to get some done on Wednesday. So that, yeah, the Boomdacker Snaz wagon's roughly around about this stage and it's all going to be metallics and yellows. They're already done. So it's metallics and greens. And then pick out any details and bits I need to clean up and basing them. Should be a fun week next week. And it's going to be the last week in October as well, so I definitely need to get something done. So if we can have four vehicles, or at least a large monster thing, and 3 vehicles, that's not too bad. That's not too bad at all to have done over essentially 4 sessions. That don't usually last longer than 2.5 to 3 hours. No worries, Buzzard. I am going to jump off now because it is like midnight and it's a school night. So thank you everybody for joining me. Please, if you do want to come back and catch another one, hit that subscribe, hit the bell, it'll let you know roughly when I'm going live. And also if you want to try and catch the horizontal as opposed to the portrait, it'll give you a bit of a chance to get in and get yourself sorted. Until then though, I will see you all on Wednesday morning. Well, morning for me, whatever time of the day it is for you, if you're forward or backwards in time from me. Yeah, about 10:30 a.m. for me ish. So plus or minus a few hours depending whether you're east or west of the UK. So please drive safe everyone, and I